This old power supply in my Atari 1040 ST had been acting up lately. It made it almost impossible to use my computer in a meaningful way, so I found it time to replace this with a newer power supply. And after watching Jan Beda's video about how he put in a Mean Well RD50A in his ST, I started looking into that as well, and this will certainly fit and work in your Atari. But you have to cut out a little bit of metal here to fit it inside the chassis. It's a very tight fit. So my tech instead suggested that I'd go for a RPD60A, which is much smaller, but can do the job just as well as the RD50A. So with the latter out of the question, we installed the RPD60A, or my tech did, and here it is inside the 1040 ST, and as you can see, it's much more spacious in here now than it would have been with the RD50A, so well done. So I got the ST back to me, and I thought, why not install a floppy emulator in this one? I have two 1040 STs, so I'm going to keep one original and one with this floppy emulator. And as always, this comes from CPMagnetic Media, which always delivers top-notch emulators and infrastructure. And in many ways, it's just a plug-and-play solution. You use the same ribbon cable from the Atari and the power cable from the Atari. So that part is really nothing at all. However, there is one thing, and that is that you have to cut out a little bit of plastic here to make the chassis fit over, or the top to fit over the floppy emulator here. To me, that's not a big deal, so I just cut this out, and this is the result. Since I have the one ST originally from before, this is okay with me. And it works just as it should. So now I can just fill up that USB memory stick with all kinds of software and run both games and utilities, audio applications, etc. on my Atari 1040 ST. And just as back in the old days, when there's a lack of creativity, you can always fire up some old Atari games, and maybe your inspiration will return when you see that green dragon. Some closing thoughts. Using a floppy emulator is a bit of a double-edged sword to me. On one hand, it's fast, clean, and nice to have everything on a memory stick. On the other hand, the displays on floppy emulators are very tiny. I struggle to read on there, and it's a chore to just browse through the different floppies, load them in, and yeah, it's a bit of a hassle really. But again, you have to be pragmatic, practical at times, and some drives, some systems are very prone to failing and hunting down repairs, etc. Yeah, so I use floppy emulators on some types of gear, while on others I keep my old drives and floppies and work like that. So these were my closing thoughts. Please let me know in the comment section what you think about it. And do you use floppy emulators? Do you change out all your old drives for floppy emulators, or do you still hang on to your old drives and floppies? Please let me know. As always, thanks for watching. I'm Espen Croft. See you next time. Cheers.